Tuesday, October 1st, 1940. The Luftwaffe's attacks on London continue. In Petsamo in Finland, representatives of the Third Reich sign a commercial agreement with the Finnish government for the purchase of weapons and nickel. Hitler orders the start of Operation Otto, the plan to improve the roads and railway lines leading to the Soviet Union. In the United States, Roosevelt's government tries to increase its military presence in Latin America, sending diplomatic delegations to different countries to sign bilateral defense agreements. Wendell Willkie, the Republican candidate for the presidency, declares in New York that the American people should vote out Roosevelt and his government, which he accuses of incompetence. At the same time, some senators propose that Britain should be persuaded to hand over more possessions in the Pacific to America in exchange for credit in order to help to halt Japanese expansionism in the region. The Spanish minister Serrano Suñer arrives in Rome for an interview with Mussolini. On the African front, British planes bomb the Italian base at Tobruk in Libya. For their part, the Italians carry out raids against the British lines in Sudan. In India, talks between Mahatma Gandhi and the British Viceroy Lord Lithgow come to an end without agreement. Gandhi declares that in the present situation, the Indian people will not cooperate with Britain in the war. Wednesday, October 2nd. Waves of Luftwaffe planes bomb London without let-up. The city is enveloped by thick clouds of smoke and flames, and its inhabitants are forced to take refuge in precarious shelters with no water or electricity. Crowded hospitals are hit in the merciless bombing. The British authorities desperately try to organize a sufficiently large fire service to cover the whole city. Meanwhile, Liverpool and Manchester are also bombed. Tension increases between Britain and Japan with the announcement by the British government that the road to Burma will be opened to help supply China. RAF bombers carry out nighttime raids against Berlin, different oil refineries in Germany, and the ports of Northern Europe, where the Nazi invasion forces are building up. The British Admiralty announces that the patrol boat Recall has been lost. Rudolf Höss, commander of Auschwitz concentration camp, begins the process of mechanized mass murder that will eventually take the lives of more than 2 million people. In Africa, British planes continue to bomb Tobruk in Libya, while the Italians carry out raids against the Allied seaplane base at Aden. In the Battle of the Atlantic, U-32, commanded by Hans Jenisch, sinks the British merchant ship Kyensen and the Dutch vessel Houwervijek. Thursday, October 3rd. In London, poor health forces Neville Chamberlain to resign from his post as Lord President of the Council. He is replaced by John Anderson, while Herbert Morrison becomes Home Secretary. The War Cabinet decides to reinforce the garrison on Malta. Meanwhile, the Luftwaffe drops 150 tons of bombs on the British capital and on military targets located in southern and central England. Despite poor weather conditions, the RAF bombs the German oil facilities of Stettin, Hamburg, and Bottrop. The Krupp factories at Essen, Cologne Station, and the naval base of Wilhelmshaven are also hit. In the Netherlands, The ports of Amsterdam, Rotterdam, and Flushing are bombed. In Belgium, Oostende and Antwerp are hit, and in France, Calais and Cherbourg. The collaborationist government of Marshal Pétain in Vichy toughens up the anti-Semite laws. In Warsaw, in Poland, the Nazi authorities forced all the city's 150,000 Jews into the Jewish district. Not allowed to take their property, many are forced to abandon their homes and businesses. Poles that inhabit the Jewish quarter are made to leave immediately. In Africa, British planes bomb Italian positions at Assab in Eritrea and military targets in Ethiopia. In the struggle for control of the Atlantic, U-32, captained by Hans Jenisch, sinks 8 Allied merchant vessels in a convoy sailing to Britain. Friday, October 4th. Hitler and Mussolini meet at the Brenner Pass on the border between Italy and Austria. "We have already won the war, and we only need to tie up a few loose ends," the Nazi leader assures the Duce. Hitler wants Mussolini's support for a grand coalition against Britain that is also to include France and Spain. One of the main weaknesses of Hitler's plan is that his allies have incompatible territorial demands. The Duce refuses to give up his ambitions on French territory, and it appears impossible to reconcile the aims of the three powers. The agreement between the two leaders is limited to the promise to inform the other Axis powers before launching any military action. Hitler also offers his support to the Italian forces in North Africa, which Mussolini turns down. In the Battle of Britain, the Luftwaffe's raids decrease due to continuing bad weather. Nevertheless, London, Coventry, and some airports in the Midlands and south of the country are bombed. For its part, the RAF attacks a German convoy sailing off the coast of Dunkirk. The Vichy government, facing irreconcilable differences with Pierre Laval, names General Maxime Weygand as the new governor of French Africa, based in Dakar. A military tribunal based in Clermont-Ferrand sentences the former French minister Jean Zay to deportation for life and strips him of military honors. Japanese troops take over Hanoi, the capital of French Indochina. In Africa, Italian planes bomb Rosier in Sudan. The British strike Italian bases in the region of Galabat in Ethiopia and railway lines in Eritrea. Saturday, October 5th. More than 500,000 children have been evacuated from London, while its inhabitants are forced to carry on with their daily lives as best they can, taking refuge in air raid shelters and putting up with constant interruptions on the railways and roads. Thousands of homes, fuel deposits, food stores, factories, and docks have been destroyed along the River Thames, and fires rage in different parts of the city. Herbert Morris, the new Home Secretary, has made great efforts to recruit and organize groups of volunteers to carry out surveillance duties and help to fight the fires. The German bombing is less intense, but nighttime raids continue against London and southern England. Tension increases between the US and Japan. Prince Kanaoye, the Japanese Prime Minister, declares that his country is ready to fight alongside Italy and Germany if provoked by the Americans. President Roosevelt criticizes totalitarian states and their territorial ambitions. Frank Knox, Secretary of the Navy, warns that America is ready for war and orders the drafting of all Naval Reserve troops. There is some saber rattling in the American press and talk of the possibility of closing the Panama Canal. In southeast China, a seaborne landing of Japanese forces takes place with the aim of cutting enemy supply lines. Sunday, October 6th. In the Battle of Britain, German planes carry out daytime attacks against areas in central and southern England. During the night, London is heavily bombed, along with the oil tanks and refineries of Thames Haven on the north bank of the Thames, where the explosions ignite raging fires. The German pilots have now realized that the number of RAF fighter planes has increased significantly, and that the Luftwaffe's lack of long-range planes is a serious problem, forcing them to return to the bases to refuel and leave their bombers at the mercy of the Spitfires and Hawker Hurricanes. The British Admiralty acknowledges the sinking of the Comet after hitting an enemy mine. At the same time, it orders the requisition of small coastal vessels. In Dublin, the Irish Prime Minister, Eamon de Valera, declares that the country can count on 300,000 men under arms, ready to defend its neutrality. In the United States, the finishing touches are put on the NA-73X prototype for its maiden flight. It will become the American P-51 Mustang. Scheduled for mass production by October next year, the first units will be shipped off for use by the RAF. In the Sea War, U-103, commanded by Victor Schütze, sinks the Norwegian freighter Borthen. Karl-Heinz Müller's U-123 sinks the British vessel Benloyers, and Victor O'Hearn's U-37, the British ship General.